Maggie here. I am going to be teaching a class today entitled Strong Bones and a Strong Core. I put the bones first in this name of the class. I usually flip it the other way, but we're really going to focus on building some stronger bones. And so most of you who are concerned with bone health and strength have probably heard about doing things to improve your bone density. Walking, lifting weights, and things like that, which is very true and very helpful, and those are the things we need to be doing. So you might ask yourself, well, how would a Pilates class help my bones? Well, it's a good question. It would help your bones because when we do Pilates fully and with intention and deeply, we are strengthening the deep internal stabilizers first before we come to the outside global muscles. So that strength that we create supports our bones from the inside, which is really a lovely concept. Plus, we want to create a strong core because we want to keep ourselves moving well and moving from the right place so that, again, our bones are protected. We also work on balance because nobody with issues with their bone, even if they just have osteopenia, really want to be falling. So being able to move well through space, having some energy and vibrancy about the way you move is critical to avoid falling and to keep yourself healthy. So I will go over a few things here that you would need to know and apply. Most of what I'll be talking about will be if you have been diagnosed with osteoporosis. A lot of these things are just good, healthy options and good, healthy ways of moving. So remember the old expressions, move it or lose it, and load the bones. Those are two really good expressions that we can apply to keeping ourselves healthy and keeping our bones healthy. So why don't we come to a standing position right now? Okay, and let's sort of talk about standing and being upright. So you want to feel as though your bones are stacked like building blocks, and we will start with our feet. The feet are a foundation, and so you want feet that are supple and fully connected to the ground, whatever you're standing on. So let's just sort of shift our weight back and forth. Great. And then imagine you're a tree blowing in the wind. So you're sort of moving from those ankle joints. The ankles have a lot of proprioceptors in them, which help us, and let's go the other way, to stay upright and help us to catch ourselves if we stumble, things like that. You get a lot of information goes from our ankles to our nervous system, to our brain. All right, and let's push one heel forward. And so you're folding, creasing at the hip, the knee, and the foot, and then the other. And before we get moving too much, I do want to go over two things that are really important in how you move. But we're just getting our feet warmed up here. Okay. One of the ways of movement to keep yourself really healthy and strong is called a hip hinge, and many of you probably heard of it. It is a kind of a squat, basically. So we call it a hip hinge because here, where you fold, where your pelvis and legs sort of articulate, you would send your tailbone back, creasing here, softening knees, softening ankles, which is one reason why I did the little treading thing. Okay, so you would be in a flat line, basically. So you're not tucking like that, and you're not hyperextending, okay? You stack your bones, you hip hinge from here. Now, people say, what about my knees? Shift your weight slightly back and then lift up in your abs. Lift up in your abs so that your knees get some help, Okay, and also make sure your knees are tracking well, not rolling in and not way beyond the toes. So we will be doing quite a bit of hip hinging. One thing we will not be doing is really folding forward with our upper body. So this is called flexion when you do this. And flexion, especially loaded flexion, if you're carrying something, picking up something, or working with weights, can cause some stress fractures in the thoracic spine. So we're going to stay away from that today. Okay, so let's do a little bit more moving here. We did warm up our feet, and now we're just going to bring our breath into the whole act of standing up. And we'll take the arms out and sweep them down and pull those shoulder blades down and in towards your back, and up and down and up. And you can empty the lungs by blowing out through soft pursed lips like you're blowing out candles. One more. Or you could choose to exhale through your nose if you're more comfortable with that. Just make sure you empty your lungs fully and hug those abs in. Let's take both arms up and do what's called sky reaches. So you reach one arm up and really open up this whole side of your body. And then the other. And 3, 4, 5. Breathing easily. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and down. Let's turn our feet to a little V. Feel the rotators at the hips and zip up through the inner thighs. Okay. From here, we're going to just do some little tiny heel lifts. So we're going to go up, 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 up. Work in the ankles and our balance, keeping the glutes active, the rotators here. And great. And now we'll do a little weight shift. So take your arms out to a wide, sort of a T or second position if you ever danced. Step to the side and back and side. Shift your weight. Now watch the tracking of that knee. And side and back and side and back and side. This is just a little warm up. Back and side and back. One more set. Side and back and side and back. Now, why is that important? It's important because when we're moving, we don't always move straight forward. We often have to go to the side and move to get around things. And you need to be able to move strongly and comfortably. Okay, so now we're going to do hip hinging with no prop. We will do some with some props later. Take your hands over your head like Superman and send your hips back. And it's not real deep. You're not diving your chest way down here. It's fairly high. And then come back up. Now, as you do this, slide those shoulder blades down your back so that there's lots of space between the arms and the ears. So you're not up here. And there. Good. And out. And up. Keep lifting your abs. Tailbone goes back. Neutral spine. And up. 2 more. And up. 1 more. And up. Very nice. So let's come to the end of your mat. I assume you all have mats down. Step forward and drop to one knee. Bring your hands down. Shift your weight and roll to your back. Safe way to get up and down. You can put something under your head, a little stack of books or a block. It would be better to do that than to have your head like so. That's not very good alignment or very good for you. So let's start with just a simple knee hug and rotate those hard-working ankles. So you circle with your toe and feel the ankle joint get more mobile. And let's switch. Good. And then let's bend your knees. Take a hold of a band. Now I'm going to bring myself up because I didn't explain my props very well. You'll need a band, a stretchy band, or you can just use a strap or a yoga band like so. Weights and something to go under your head. Okay, so let's get back over here. with the band, with tension, or just taut if it doesn't stretch. Pull those shoulders into your back and release. Pull them down and into the floor and towards your spine. Pull the ribs down, hug the abs in, and release. And 2 more, and release, and 1 more, and release. So now we'll just do a little simple heel slide as we stretch the band up and hug those abs in, and then bring it back. So exhale here. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale here. So this movement is thoughtful and slow and deep. That's how we start to access the stabilizers. One more set after this one. So let's do an exhale here. Really reach. Inhale back. Exhale here. Inhale back. So just lay your band sort of across you for a minute and put your hands down. I want you to walk your feet in fairly close and then find those little hip points here. With an exhale, I'd like you to scoop the stomach and roll those hip points towards your ribs or towards your face here. So inhale to prepare. Exhale here. So that's a little scoop and roll, and what happens? Your low back goes towards the mat and you come to neutral. And then again, come to neutral. This one you go as deep as you can and you'll hold it. Now hold that scoop and just do some light, easy breathing. Bring one leg up and hold the band like so. And then you'll lower it down and bring the other leg up. And little breaths. Okay. Now see if you can hold it with both legs up. Hold your imprint, deep scoop. Bring the band towards your knees and flex your feet. Single leg stretch. So we'll add the band and arm movement with this. So one leg goes out, sort of like those heel slides you just did, but now you're holding an imprint. And back, and out, and back, and stretch it, reach through that heel, and back. Make everything count. So don't throw anything away. You work as deeply and fully as you possibly can, thinking about where you are in space and what you're trying to achieve here. One more set. And then put one foot down and then the other. Great. So let's put our band aside for just a minute and slide your block aside. With osteoporosis, if you do a bridge, you're doing a diagonal, a low bridge. So you would lift the hips straight up and rest on mostly your shoulders and a little bit your upper back. So you're not way up here, but you're sort of here. And you want to feel this openness. And then turn your palms up and let your shoulders drop into the mat. And take 3 breaths here. And then place your hips down. Now we'll take whatever band you have, put it across your lap like a seat belt. And we're going to work on firing the glutes and the upper hams and the abs all together as a team, okay? So, press straight up, firing abs, glutes, and then hamstrings assist, lower down. Exhale, lower down. Exhale, lower down. So why are we doing this? Lower down to build up the coordination between the abs and the glutes and the hamstrings working as a team, like I said, because that's what you need when you walk or go upstairs. and down, last two, and down, one more, up, and down. All right. So do that little imprint thing again. And you could put your books back under your head or your blocks. So exhale here. Hold that little scoop. Get your band on your feet. I like to turn my hands in to face each other and plant my elbows. Now, you most likely, in getting the band on your feet, you weren't able to keep your imprint. I know I've sort of lost mine a bit. So let's find that again. So your abs go back towards your back, creating this deep internal girdle. Or I sometimes call it a burrito wrap, because basically you're trying to wrap everything in right here. Here we go. We're going to press out and leaving our head down, we push through the heels and lengthen and back. So if you do this and you go, oof, I can feel my low back, then I'll show you how to modify. You will take your legs higher here and pull the abs towards your back. So you can go here only if you're in your abs and not in your back. Otherwise, you are here. Okay? And again, go back to why you're doing this. You want to create that strength. And exhale here. And back. And a little lower only if you can control it. And back. Can you feel your glutes kick in right there? Hopefully. Yep. 3 more. Good. 2 more. And 1 more. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it and breathe. And back in. I'm sure that was quite well done by all of you. So let's roll to your stomach. Push your blocker books away. Make like an X on your mat. Now let your hip points drop to the mat, but continue to lift your abs up towards your back. So just because you turn onto your stomach doesn't mean you get to let everything relax. In fact, now you're working against gravity, so you have to work even harder, okay? So nice big X shape, hips down, abs up, shoulders away from ears, and we'll do alternating reaches. So with your right hand and left leg, you lift up and stretch from your fingers to your toes and down. Other side, up and down. First side, up, really reach, and down. Second side, up and down. 2 more sets, up and lower. Breathe it and lower. And stretch and down and stretch and down. Now bring your hands and put them right under your head. Rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Bend your knees and bring your heels together and flex your feet. Make sure you continue to drop your hips into the mat as you lift the stomach away from the mat, so creating a teamwork again in this position. And this is for the glutes and the hams. It's called grasshopper. And so as you exhale, you just lift the knees a little bit off of the mat by using your glutes and your upper hamstrings and lower. Keep your shoulders relaxed. You should not feel a lot in your low back doing this. And exhale, lift. You might feel a little bit, shouldn't feel a whole bunch. And down, and up, and down, and up, and down. 3 more, up, and down. 2 more, up, and down. 1 more, up, and down. Doesn't have to be high. Now stretch those legs long, back to that V, and take your arms back, sort of making a V shape the same way that your legs are. Go ahead and lift your chest. Let your head follow the spine. Leave your hands on the floor for now. Now stretch your legs long. They don't have to come high. Just hover them off the mat and then bring your arms up and float like you're on a surfboard on beautiful Caribbean waters. One more breath, that is, and down. Okay, bend your knees, hands come in push-up position. Now lift your abs, you're gonna need them. On your exhale, you do a reverse push-up, and then you can stay here, or you can go to a full plank. And I'm going to stay here for now, okay? And make sure when you do your full plank that you're not back here somewhere, but you're in a diagonal, and pull those shoulder blades down. A really good thing to do, which I'm not going to do right now in this class, but if you're trying to build up some bone strength and shoulder strength and upper body strength, is wall push-ups or doing push-ups with your hands, and I will move for this a little bit, on a surface. Okay, so that you're on a diagonal. Make sure it doesn't move at countertop like that. All right? So I'm sure you're tired of holding your knee down plank or full plank. So come to a full table position. Lift those abs, tailbone back, shoulders down, head reaches forward. And let's take your same alternating reach like we did laying on our stomach. We'll take your left leg and right hand. Put the hand in a handshake position and pull that shoulder down and balance and lift through here. Really balance. Keep going. And then hand down and knee down. And I think I need to move forward. Okay. And now we'll do the other side. Leg long, handshake hand. Hold and balance, breathe. Hand down, knee down. Put your feet together. Send your hips back, but keep your spine long, no curling. So you can let your head just be continuation of the spine. If you want to stay here longer, you would take something like that, like a block or books, and put your head on it and stretch those arms. And again, you're not curling, you're lengthening, and your hips are trying to get right back towards those heels. And 2 more breaths there, please. And 1 more breath there. And then roll yourself up. All right, so let's come to standing. As easily as you can, as gracefully as you can. So we're going to work with our band a little bit more before we go to our weights. And we're going to find that little V feet position that we were in earlier. I think I'll get off my mat. Yeah, here we are. Now loop those shoulders and place them on your back. Feel the zipping effect from here. If I had a zipper, all the way up, all the way, all the way, all the way. Keep going, zip, 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 through the middle of your head and up. So that midline is really strong in helping you to feel steady and supported. You want these rotators in the glutes and the upper hams to be working. And we will do a little weight shift again. A little bit quicker though this time. So we go out and back. Again, 2 and back. 3 and back. And 4 and back. And 5 and 6. Just 1 more set. And 7. Little movement after being on the mat. Now, step 1 foot to the side and then the other. So this is an interesting and good position, but a couple of things to think about. Don't turn your toes out so much that your knee goes in, okay? For most people, unless they have a lot of rotation in their hips, the feet are going to be slightly to the front, not parallel, but also not totally to the side. And before you even start, bend your knees and look where they track in terms of your feet. If you see this, you know you need to drop your weight into the outside edge of your feet and lift your arches. Okay, so here we go. You're sliding your back down a wall. It doesn't have to be deep. It could be just that much, if that works for you. And then come back up. So part of moving and getting stronger is knowing where you need to be now. And then envision maybe where you'll be in a couple of months of being really active and doing healthy exercises like these. Okay? So as you go down, your arms go up and lift. Push into your heels and fan your toes out, lift your arches. Those little feet are your support, at least part of it, so be aware of them. Good. Now this next one, you're going to hold in the legs. And you can be, like I said, you can be up here, that's fine. And you just tip side to side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost there, 13, 14, 15, 16, and up. Wonder if I woke your thighs up yet. I hope so. Okay, so we have one more here to do. You're going to go out and pull and up and pull and up and 3 and up and 4 and up, 5 and up and 6 and lift and 7 and up and 8 and up and 9 and up. Now you're going to hold 10. Pull, relax those arms and pulse, tiny pulses. 1, 2, right into these legs. 3, 4, small. 5, breathing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up. Okay, so bring yourself back to parallel, hip hinging with the band. And then I'm going to add a balance. So a little bit of adding things into this nice little workout. So you'll send your tailbone back, pull the band apart like you just did when you were in the wide position, and down. And 2, and down. 3, and up. And 4, and up. And 5, and lift. Stack yourself. And 8, all the way tall. And 2 more. 9, and 10, and up. So here's your balance. I'm going to do it in slow motion so you know what I'm looking for, and then you can join me on the second set. So you'll go out into a hip hinge. We're going to hold it for just a little bit. As you start coming up, you transfer your weight right away. Oh, sorry, and the band goes overhead. And then you put the foot down and bring the band down. And then you go out again. Now you're going to transfer your weight to the, see already I'm shifting, right? As I come up. And this side is not as steady. There we go. And down. Okay, join me. Here we go. Out, hold it. Make sure your knees are safe. Lift those abs. Transfer, lift, 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 lift. Lift, 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 up, 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 and down, and then out, transfer, up, 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 up. So the wiggling and the wobbling is how we sort of educate ourselves about where we need to align, what muscles need to kick in, even if you're not consciously aware of them or know their names. And down, here, and transfer, and one more set, out, transfer, up, 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 that's it, and down, last one. Ta-da! and down. Very nice, you guys. We're done with the band. Those are 5-pound weights. I'm going to use 3. So loading your bones could mean anything from wearing a weighted vest when you walk to working with a personal trainer doing some heavier weight training. We use pretty light weights, 2s, 3s, 5s, just because we're toning and trying to build the strength around the joints and around the bones. So let's start again in parallel. I'll go sideways so you can see. Weights face backwards, and you'll hip hinge and lift those weights. Hold the hip hinge, bring it down and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, control in both directions, 7, 8, shift your weight to your heels if you're losing it, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 1 more, 12, and down. Come up. Good. So this one's called the zipper. The weights face backwards. You're in that V position again. Remember we did these little lifts? Well, now we're going to do more controlled lifts and use the weights. So you go up and press out, and 2 and press, and 3, strong through the core, and 4 and out, and 5 and out, and 6 and press. And here you pull 7, press 8, and up and out and up. Now I stopped counting, and that's I'm a terrible counter, so that means we'll probably do some extra. Let's do 2 more, and out, 1 more, hold, and out. Okay, going out with straight legs. Bring your elbows and sort of tuck them in your waist, right towards your waist. And notice that my hands aren't down here, but they're actually lifted, so already my bicep is a little engaged, and my shoulders are in and down on my back. So we pull, and then very slowly we return. So we're focusing more on the return than the lift. This is called an eccentric contraction. That's it. And up, and slow, and up, and slow. Excellent. Breathing. Let your head float up while you push down through your feet. The concept of opposites energetically. And down, and pull, slow return, and up, slow return, and up, and slow, last 3, up, and slow, and up. Here comes your last one, and down, and up. Slow, slow, even slower, even slower, even slower, and down. Circle those shoulders. Okay. So now come to sort of a wide parallel position. And this is our final little weight and lift. So we're going, it's a deltoid lift. So you're not lifting really high, you're just sort of poofing the arms up and down. I always feel like when I do this, I feel like an umbrella. Like my arms are the top and my body is the handle. And down and up and down. I need to be closer and up. See, for me, I usually work with a fairly narrow base because it helps me continue to feel that midline here that I'm working with. And down, last 2. Up and down. 1 more. And down. Great. Okay. Oh, no, I want to do one more thing. Sorry. If you're on a soft surface or have sneakers on, you can do what I'm going to do. If you are not on a soft surface, what I want you to do is just tap your heel like so. Okay? Otherwise, you'll do what Rebecca from Buff Bones calls heel drops. So it's drop, 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 drop. The vibration and the little tugging of the muscles on the bones in something like this will help stimulate bone production. And finish. Very funny little ending, but we will do one more thing to make it feel like a true ending. So standing back in that parallel, circle those shoulders just freely, take the arms up, return to a couple little sky reaches, create space after the heel drops. Good, both arms up. Take a breath, smile, you've done a good job. Lift your chest. And thank you. Thank you for joining me.